My question is this a good thing to do? Does this help reduce the risk of climate change? Or is it some sort of indulgence or fraud or something that is meaningless to do?
I don't think we're doomed. We're definitely putting unsustainable pressures on the planet, and we need to figure out how to live in a warmer world.
Regents Professor Diana Liverman is a geographer and co-founder of the University of Arizona Institute for the Environment. Her overarching task, however, is creating communities of science and policy to help the world cope with climate change.
So I've got a series of projects, again, many of them with my graduate students or collaborative, which is to understand the process of adaptation and what will make it successful, and also whether there are limits to adaptation. I mean, are we going to get to the point where in parts of the world it's so warm that you can't even grow the same crops anymore and you've got to really do something very dramatic? Or are we going to have to move cities away from the coasts? And that is a very serious policy question, but it's a fascinating research question.
Yeah. I mean, Zach is...
In addressing these problems, the Institute, co-directed by Jonathan Overpeck, taps into the UA's pool of talented researchers from across campus.
To see a new professor in English who teaches environmental writing talking to a new young guy in economics that works on environmental economics, talking to an atmospheric scientist, is really what the Institute is about.
As a geographer, Liverman is accustomed to interdisciplinary collaboration.
The discipline has two sort of major components to it, physical scientists and social scientists. So she understands both environmental kinds of questions as well as the human questions that go along with the environments in which those humans live.
Her commitments range from chairing National Science Foundation committees to startups like the Inter-American Institute for Global Change Research.
Hi, Chen. How are you?
Closer to home, she helped start the UA's climate assessment for the Southwest.
It's one of the original editions of Silent Spring. And to indicate how important that is, my dog is named after her.
She's very good at asking other people questions. You know, she sits next to people on planes and she asks them questions, and before you know it, they're giving money to some cause that she's got. She was invited to the Clinton White House to participate in, I guess it was a kind of summit on climate change, and she sat there right between President Clinton and Vice President Gore, and she talked to them like they were her next door neighbors. I mean, she's very comfortable, I think, because she believes in what she's doing.
Her worldviews were shaped in part by her early years.
I was born in Ghana, in West Africa, because my dad was working for the British government and they were building a very large dam in Ghana. And that actually gave me interest in sort of water and environment from quite an early age. But I think the thing that my parents did that had the most enduring impact was that every holiday they would take us to a British national park, and we would rent some old beat-up cottage and go hiking and go swimming. And I think going to all those different national parks really gave me a love of sort of the landscape. You haven't really explained what an offset is.
So here, this is what I have.
Probably the most rewarding part of my career has been working with graduate students over the years and learning from their ideas, and the fact that every year you can have a new set of graduate students that sort of re-inspires you and re-enthuses you, even if you're feeling a bit burnt out.
Whenever I need her help or advice, like, she's always there. I send her an email and she gets back to me immediately wherever in the world she is. Like, sometimes I don't even know she's not here. So she's very available.
Liverman's former students are doing research and serving on committees around the globe. As geographers, however, she and her students are also big on field work.
A lot of the work we're doing now, and that my graduate students are doing now, is looking at various policies that are coming in, either protecting forests or providing money to help with adaptation to sea level rise, and actually seeing if those policies are working in the communities. Of course, the other role of graduate students is to dog sit.
It's more like I have an awesome house with a pool, and like you can eat whatever you want and drink whatever you want. Oh, and there's also a dog.
When she's not in the field, serving on international committees, or teaching, Liverman enjoys spending time with friends in a local Tucson book club or poking around in the desert. Ultimately, though, Diana Liverman is focused on a very big picture.
Unlike many pessimists among us, that she believes she can make a difference, that she can actually change. She can have an impact by the kinds of conversations she has, by the kind of work she has, in and having the world be different.
So that's why I described this guru.